Folks, I'm back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. A Caddyshack kind of morning. My Blazer here. And I want to introduce my co-host, my friend, Elaine. We'll just call you Elaine. How are you this morning, Elaine?
I'm a nervous wreck.
Why?
Because I've been driving all over LJ trying to find you.
Huh?
I've been here since 8 o'clock. I just found your office about 8:30.
So the first thing we want to do is tell the viewers that you're just lost in general.
Yes.
But you know what? That's okay.
You know what they say about old people, don't you?
No, I have no idea. Why would you think I know?
Oh, well, you know, we're the gray-haired brigade, and
Gray?
we forget all this stuff, you know. It's old-timers disease.
Old-timers today.
Yeah.
Elaine, I wanted to, thanks for coming in this morning, co-hosting with me for the next 20-so minutes. I think I just want to say two words, a name, and then let you take off a little bit. When you and I were talking, you said, hey, can we discuss Hillary? Now, Hillary Clinton, there's some turmoil in the Democrat side that the media won't cover. They're not covering it, and there's turmoil there. And I like George's take because the media wants us to think that Hillary, and I know you watch George in the morning, and you know George, but Hillary, they want you to believe is being interviewed by the FBI. And George has military background and he understands investigation because he was NCIS, or if I got that right, and he's done that. He said, no, it's interrogation. They're not interviewing, it's an interrogation. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about who these Clintons really are. It's more important to find out who pulled a lady's collar.
Yeah, you know, that really ticks me off because that thing with Trump.
I was trying to do something to set you up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
That could have been a setup. You know, if you want to look at it from my point of view, what I saw in that videotape, I didn't see anything going on except maybe a slight brushing. And yet she claimed...
Wait a minute. You're a woman.
Yeah.
Women don't like Trump.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say.
I love Trump.
Oh, go on. Continue. Continue.
You know, but that could have been a setup. She could have been a plant, go in there, do this, that, or the other thing, and then charge Trump. Because they want to dig up every bit of dirt they can on Trump. And the things that they're finding to throw out about Trump are such minutia compared to Hillary Clinton's record. And I have things that go back starting when Hillary Clinton was 27 years old. Did you know that she was involved in the Watergate investigation with Nixon?
Actually, I do. I didn't know.
You didn't?
I don't know her extent of what her involvement was.
Do you know that she was fired by her supervisor for lying and unethical behavior? Did you know that?
No.
Okay. I'm going to read a little bit of this that I have. He fired her because she was a liar. She was an unethical, dishonest lawyer. She conspired to violate the Constitution, the rules of the House, the rules of the committee, and the rules of confidentiality. Okay?
And this is when she was the Watergate.
She was involved with the Watergate.
Right,
She was
okay.
working for the councils. Effman said she was one of several individuals, including Marshall, Special Counsel John Doerr, and Senior Special Counsel and future Clinton White House counsel Bernard Nussbaum, who engaged in a seemingly implausible scheme to deny Richard Nixon the right to counsel during the investigation. Now, why would they want to deny him the right to counsel? Okay? They're saying that they were afraid if he had the counsel, they feared putting Watergate break-in mastermind E. Howard Hunt on the stand to be cross-examined by the counsel to the president. And Hunt, Zellman said, had the goods on the activities that Kennedy administration, that would have made the Kennedy administration look like a day at the beach compared to what Nixon did. Did you know any of that? Had you heard any of that at all? Okay, and part of it included Kennedy's purported complicity in the attempted assassination of Fidel Castro. Okay, so when Hillary wanted to write a legal brief, Zafman says he told Hillary about the case of Supreme Court William O. Douglas, who faced an impeachment attempt in 1970. And the first thing Douglas did was hire himself a lawyer. and the Judiciary Committee allowed it, okay? So it established a precedent. But what Hillary did then, she removed the Douglas files to the offices where she was located, which at the time was secured and inaccessible to the public. And Ziefman said Hillary then proceeded to write a legal impeachment proceeding as if the Douglas case had never occurred. Okay? The brief was so fraudulent and ridiculous, Ziefman believes Hillary would have been disbarred if she had succeeded in submitting that brief. Nixon's resignation rendered the entire issue moot, and so we never heard about that.
I'm glad you bring these things up. I mean,
this is when she was 27 years
right,
old.
Right.
This zebra has not changed her stripes.
Everything with her is calculated. It's always been.
Always.
Everything's always been calculated.
Always.
And let me ask you a question. I want you to get back on track of where you're at. You read the recent accounts of Bill Clinton's girlfriend?
Yes.
Okay, and you read those articles of the... I think the lady, there's too much smoke with what she's saying of what I've heard before, that everything Hillary has done has been calculated for this day. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
She's very cold and calculating. There's another story about Hillary and the Black Panthers. I think most people are aware of when she was at, where did she go to school? Yale or Harvard? Yale Law School, okay? And this was in 1969, and she was in the thick of that mess with the Black Panthers. There was 9 of them. They thought that one of their members had done something against the Black Panthers, and his captors clubbed him, burned him with cigarettes, scalded him with boiling water, and stabbed him with an ice pick before finally shooting him in the head, okay? And Hillary was in the thick of these organized mass protests supporting the New Haven Nine, as they were called. Her statement, a line Hillary used in her Wesley College commencement speech, appeared under her photo. Protest is an attempt to forge an identity. And that's what she was doing with these Black Panthers. That's when she became affiliated with Saul Alinsky, and she supported Alinsky's call for class warfare. She also associated with left-wing law professors, Thomas Emerson, known around the campus as Tommy the Commie. I don't understand. You have Harvard, you have Yale. They're supposed to be white-collar colleges. They're supposed to be the best of the best in what we have to offer. Why are all these communists coming out of there? There's about 74 members of Congress, whether it's the Senate or whatever. They're members of the Democratic Socialist Party, which is a branch of the Communist Party here in the USA. Now, if you take an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States, how can you be a communist who believes in the Communist Manifesto? Someday during this whole election process, I'd like to see us take the Communist Manifesto and the Bill of Rights and say, look, folks, this is what you're voting for. If you're voting for Hillary or Bernie, you're voting for the Communist Manifesto. But let me get back to these Black Panthers.
Before you go back to the Black Panthers, you touch on something that I try to tell people that, I guess I've always had a black and white personality. It's either black or white, and it's been a positive in my life, and it's been a negative at times. Okay, and I guess there's times when people want you to have a gray area. But what I'm trying to say, when it comes to our judicial system and when it comes to the Constitution, there's some things that will never work. And communism and socialism will never work with our Constitution. And Sharia law will never work with our Constitution and
totally
our judicial
incompatible.
system. It can't happen. And if you are, and not to go down a different road, but there's Christians out there that are Christians. They profess to be Christians. I'm not judging them, but they don't go to church. Okay? So maybe they're not as solid or grounded in certain things that they should be as Christianity, I won't say requires, or Islam, there are some Muslims that are not good Muslims, like you say, not good Christians. They don't go to the whatever and the mosque, and they don't pray at 2 and 3 and 5 times a day, and they cut their hair and drink beer, but they'll still say they're Muslims. Okay, but if you are living the Muslim religion of Islam, if you're living Islam, you can't live with Christians. It can't happen because it doesn't.
They're not compatible.
It doesn't work. Go on. I didn't mean to
Okay.
get off, but you understand what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Because when you brought up the Communist Manifesto, you can't. It doesn't go.
Right.
How you look at it.
Right.
Carry on.
Right.
My friend.
Anyway, due to her efforts with the activities on the campus and everything, a lot of people believe that the pressure that her and her, activism had an effect on the trial. Okay? As of 1977, only one of the 9 was still in prison. The gunman, Warren Kimbrough, got a Harvard scholarship and became an assistant dean at Eastern Connecticut State College. How's that grab you? Erica Huggins, who boiled the water for Mr. Rackley's torture, got elected to a California school board. Now, how do these people on the left get into all these places, do all this stuff, and they don't get punished? If you or I did any of those things, we'd be sent so far back in jail, we still wouldn't be seeing the light of day today. This was for murder and torture, And that's just the beginning of the scandals, and that was way back when she was 27, and then in 1969, I don't know how old she is. Then I have here a list of 9 old scandals from before she even got into the position she's in today.
Do me a favor, kindly summarize the 9 quickly as just headings and quick summaries, so we have time to do a couple more things this morning. I'm going to have you back. You're going to come back plenty of times for the viewers.
Chinagate, where they were selling weapon secrets to communist China for donations for themselves. The missing billing records, okay? The billing records were discovered sitting on a table in plain view in the White House.
The Rose Law Firm?
Yeah. And then Cattlegate. She made a 10,000% return on $1,000 in a year. The chances of doing that is 250 million to 1, So there was scandal involved with that. Then there was Healthcare Gate. She organized illegal closed-door meetings for healthcare task force, and she tried to push her Hillary Care through.
I remember all too well.
And that was a big scandal. Then there was Travelgate, where the White House travel people were fired and their cronies were put in. Let's see. Then there was Filegate, okay? The illegal collection of FBI background files of Republican members of Congress. Okay? And they use those, just like the IRS uses information on the Tea Party, to cause problems for the Republicans. So they had that Filegate. Then there was money for silence. Webster Hubbell was paid $1 million in consulting fees for what? He sat silent in prison, served out his prison term, and never said a word against the Clintons. The ransacking of Vincent Foster's office, you remember him. He's the guy that shot himself
Vincent
in the head.
Foster, let me see if members.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the guy that looked like he was reading a book in the park?
Well, he committed suicide and then he moved his body. The nerve of some people. And now it comes out he had more than 1 bullet in him.
Elaine. Oh, thank
Isn't that
you.
telling?
Yeah, Vincent Foster. And they're still looking for the guy that only put a half a tank of fuel in Ron Brown's plane.
I heard about that yesterday, too. And then Campaign Gate, where she was using Air Force One, and she was saying that they reimbursed them for the use of Air Force One when she was doing her political campaigning. Well, she reimbursed them for the cost of a first class plane ticket, but her trips on Air Force One cost us $50,000. That's when she was running for the Senate in New York. And, she wasn't reimbursing anybody for anything.
Let me ask you a question. Did you hear recently that is the archives in the Library of Congress are removing? Is it the archives in the Library of Congress are removing the Whitewater indictments, or I don't know, where did I hear that?
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me if they have people trying to whitewash her records all the way back. They can do what they want in the Library of Congress, but there's too many people, members of the gray-haired brigade, still alive, and places and media and things around that still have records of what they did.
Let me tell you, the lady wants to be president so bad, Elaine. She has calculated.
Yeah.
She calculated everything. She wants to be president. She hates Barack Obama. There's not a day goes by she likes anything about Barack Obama. That was not in the plan. Everything's been in the plan. That wasn't. The Bushes were supposed to hand it back to them. And I always say that's the deal.
It was
That's
the deal.
why Dick Cheney was the vice president, knowing he would not run again. And when Clinton handed to Bush, Bush was supposed to hand it back. That's my thought. But then the people in charge, I always call them people in charge, thought this junior senator, there's a reason I bring that up, would be more controlling and better at this time. Whatever. Hillary wants to be president so bad. And if she doesn't make it this time, because this is it at her age, this is it, I think what they're going to have to do is take, now excuse me because this is not going to be very politically correct for some of you out there. I think what they're going to have to do with Hillary, if she doesn't win, they're going to have to go to a nut house and take a West Wing and clean it all up. They're going to have to go down the end and simulate an Oval Office and put her in a rubber Oval Office and tell her she's Madam President and let her live the rest of her life in a West Wing of a nut house, because she'll never survive if she doesn't think she's president. It'll drive her crazy. That's my opinion. Not that she's not already. You understand what I'm saying?
I think she's already there.
Well, I do, but this is.
And people say Trump is crazy.
How
Trump
dare you.
has made $9 billion. People say, oh, that's no big deal because he inherited money. How many people haven't won the lottery, won millions of dollars, and blown it in a matter of a few years?
Right.
You've got to have some brains. You've got to know how to organize a business. You've got to know how to pick people that know what they're doing to perform jobs for you.
Are you concerned with some of the things Trump has said recently, or what do you think the media has played in it, or whatever? We got a couple minutes left.
I'm not so concerned about some of the things that Trump has said recently. Rush Limbaugh did a great rant on us Trumpers, as he refers to us.
You're a Trumper?
Yes, I'm a Trumper.
Holy smokes, I've seen everything. Go ahead.
Anyway, we don't care what he does. We look at what he's accomplished for himself. The other thing we look at is his love for America. The Obamas hate America. They were out to destroy it. Our Republicans in Congress gave Obama everything he wanted in his budget. They are out to destroy America. The one person that I see that is not out to destroy America, that truly loves it, he has the most to gain and the most to lose. These other idiots in Congress, if the world falls apart, they'll still cut their backroom deals and keep money flowing here and there. But if the world falls apart, the economy goes down, Trump can lose $9 billion. He has a vested interest in taking America back, recreating our economy. We have to do that before we can be of any use to ourselves or the rest of the world. And all those other idiots, I'm sorry, I liked Cruz for a while.
You liked him for a while.
I liked him for a while. But my first love was Ben Carson. And when Cruz pulled the trick on Ben Carson, him or his campaign, saying that Ben Carson was out of it and cost Ben Carson votes, that really ticked me off. And the stuff about the things Trump is saying about Cruz's wife, has everybody forgotten what Cruz said about Trump's wife? Have you heard anything about that? That came first.
Trump always punches back. And
Yes,
that's
he does.
That's the thing that gets me is,
And-
if you'll go back from the beginning of the campaign,
I love him for that.
He came down the escalator, and he didn't come into the race knocking any opponent. He came in the race and made a speech. His first speech was about Hispanics, Latinos, a wall, our country, make America great again. It didn't say, I don't like this guy, I don't like it. He didn't do any of that. They started it. Now, I don't want to say they started, we finished. That does sound a little bit like a playground fight, but...
It's the American way, damn it. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, go ahead. It's over now. It's out there. It's the American way. Damn it. Oh, my gosh. Okay, it's the American way. You hit us. We're coming back.
I don't know.
Oh, my God. Holy mackerel.
Is there a fine for that?
No, yeah, $25. Pay up at the door.
Okay.
Anyhow. So you're through with Cruz, or you're okay if he gets the nomination?
He beats the tar out of Hillary, okay? But I'm not going to be thrilled with him if they do a backhanded deal to put him in.
Backhanded deal concerns me. I want to ask you before we go, because we got to go at 9:27, Lonnie, because we got the Speaker of the House at 9:30, and we'll have to prepare for that. Will you come back?
Yes.
Okay. What I wanted to do this morning, folks, this is Elaine. I am BKP. Good morning from the office. This is Elaine. Elaine came down to be with me for 30 minutes, and we wanted to get together and talk. As the campaign continues with the 9th District, local elections, I will be out almost every night. I have forums. I have several. I've got to study at night because, like the Union County stuff that they're doing, I'm the moderator for all of that. Yeah. I'm the moderator for Fandon, and I'm the moderator for Gilmer's, and I've got several. I got like 9 on the list that I got to moderate.
You have your plate full.
And I want to study. So Elaine came down this morning, and, I have to say this, and this is all due respect. I swear I'm saying this with love. God sent me Elaine and George. Holy mackerel. I love it. It's
you
great.
have to give me a list of words I can't say, though.
Oh, well, I got a couple I'm going to send you. Just some caution words, okay, Elaine? Anyhow, listen, this is what's happening on this show, folks, is growing. People are realizing that, one, I agree with freedom of speech. Now, I don't want to come on here. FetcherNews.com, FYN TV doesn't want to come here and get personal. Now, I'm not saying Hillary Clinton, she's a public figure, but we don't want to just come here and see if we could destroy somebody or anything like that. But information and freedom of speech, we want to bring it to you. Elaine's going to be a part of that. If you're out there, you're somewhere here in North Georgia, and hey, let's say you're a retired general, retired colonel, military, you have some insight of what's going on with the FBI, you have some insight of what's going on in the government, you have some insight of some things going on economically, don't hesitate. Get in touch with me, BKP, here, chief at FetcherNews.com, 706-889-9700. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yes, I did.
I know it was short, and I'm sorry about that, but I know you and I wanted to get together and do a little test run, see how it went. So you want to come back?
Are we on or off?
No, we're still on.
We're still on.
So to continue to hold those words.
Okay.
All right, you get 30 seconds. Go.
Okay. You know how you call a herd of cows a flock of geese or a school of fish? Now, what do you call baboons? They are the loudest, most dangerous, most obnoxious, most viciously aggressive, and least intelligent of all primates. And what is the collected noun for a group of baboons? Believe it or not, a congress. Don't you just love it?
Well, I was with you all the way, but now I know why somebody called me a baboon. I'm your host, BKP. We're out. When we come back, stay tuned. We will have Georgia House Speaker David Ralston on the line with us. Lonnie, take us to break.